Welcome back to Irma Sofra. Today we're going to be making a delicious bread, a traditional bread called Pogaca. So if you want to stay tuned for the recipe, please keep watching. So it's super simple. Yeast, salt, and sugar in my mixing bowl. I'm going to add my warm water, mix that together, and once that doubles up in size, once that yeast has activated and we see all those bubbles and it starts to foam, we're going to add our warm milk, our oil, and our eggs. So we're mixing first our wet ingredients together, and I'm adding one whole egg and one egg white, and I'm going to keep that yolk on the side, and I'm going to use that later on. My camera didn't catch me adding in the flour, but I do the flour in batches. So I add the first 3 cups and mix it together, and then I add the last 3 cups. So in total I'm using 6, and I like to put this in the mixer and mix it for roughly 10 to 15 minutes. I really want to work that dough. And then once I have combined the dough, you'll see that the sides are nice and clean. The bottom is nice and clean. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for a nice dense dough. So once that dough comes together, I'm going to knead it on my countertop for like 2-3 minutes just for it to come into a beautiful ball. I'm going to add some oil into my mixing bowl and some oil on top of the dough. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this hang out for 45 minutes to an hour. We want this to double in size. So once it's doubled in size, mine took roughly an hour. I have a heavily floured surface right here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to flour my Pogaca dough, and then I'm going to roll it out. I'm not going to roll it out too thin, but I'm also not going to roll it out too thick. And what I'm going to do is on the side here, I have some unsalted room temperature butter. I'm going to put that on top. I'm going to make a thin little layer. I took out 1 stick of butter, and I ended up using, I wouldn't say all of it. I think there was like 2 tablespoons left of the butter. I don't like it to be too greasy because then I eat it with clotted cream or kaimak, so you know I have to balance it out a little bit. So like I said, just put the butter on top, and then you're going to roll this and then make the design however you like. I like to do a ring, and then I like to put some things that you would eat it with in the center. So I have some jelly, some cheese, like you saw in the beginning of the video, and you'll see towards the end. But make it your own. This bread is so nice because it's dense, but it's so soft to eat that you can really shape it into anything and it'll come out beautiful. Once I've made my ring, I'm going to let this sit and rise, double in size for roughly 45 minutes, and I'm just covering it with a kitchen towel. Once it's doubled in size, that egg yolk that I mentioned in the beginning, I mix that with some water and some oil, and I'm just going to brush that on top of my Pogaca. Now what that's going to do, it's going to give us a nice, beautiful, and yellow color to the dough. That's why we add an egg yolk instead of an egg white. Traditionally, when you make breads or when you make pastries, you add an egg white. That gives it a gloss. The egg yolk is going to give us some color. Now I have to admit, I stepped away from the oven really quick. I put the broiler on because I just wanted it to get a nice, beautiful golden brown color. And I did it a little too much, so it is a little well done, but it doesn't matter because this came out so amazing, you guys. The dough is so soft and fluffy. Oh my God, this is gonna be your new favorite recipe. What I love about Pogaca is this is a good breakfast, lunch, brunch, people coming over, you have company. This is one of those crowd-pleasing dishes to make. I absolutely love it, and I know you guys will too. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, add me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time.